Hey, what's going on, guys? You're watching the Modding Corner, back with another Yapping Corner segment, or whatever the hell I'm gonna end up calling these. So I was watching Daima again, and as I haven't gotten to see it fully dubbed, it left me with a question that I desperately needed to know. No, it isn't where the third eyes come from, or how the fusion bugs work. No, sir. Here we ask the real questions, like how will Daima's story connect to Xenoverse 2 story? What do you mean I'm the only person to ever ask? With all the new additions we got around the demon realm along with his denizens, it makes you think about how it will connect to the pre-Daima continuity. Like, for example, we know that Daima exists at a point in the timeline where everything up to the end of the Buu saga happens, but it still predates both Super and the end of Z. Now, of course, this has been a massive debate in the community on whether or not Daima can connect to Super, but for the sake of this video, let's just say Daima takes place in its own separate continuity like GT alongside Super. Now, we know that the primary villains of the Xenoverse series are typically the demons and the time breakers, which are led by Demigra, Toa, Mira, and taken up by Dabura in the DLC missions. Now, the main goal of the time breakers was to gather enough energy to revive the demon realm, but we never really found out what that means exactly. Seeing as Xenoverse 2 takes place in age 852, approximately 77 years after the events of Daima, it makes one think, did something happen to the demon realm in that time for it to quote-unquote die? Was it sealed off from the other universes because it got too dangerous? Why would Toa or Dabura reviving the demon realm be considered a bad thing, especially knowing what we know now that Supreme Kai of Time as well as the other Glins are from there? Now, what we do know about the demon realm from Xenoverse is that Toa and Dabura came from there, and that there exists some extremely powerful magic items like the Tree of Might Fruit and Demon Realm Crystals, which can turn you evil, as well as the magic used to give characters super and ultra supervillain powers. But of course, if you check out the demon realm in Daima, the most dangerous thing there is whatever the hell they're selling in the pot shops off A Street, because they got some crazy. So how dangerous could the demon realm actually be? And since Daima is over, I'm very curious to see how it could possibly be adapted into games, so I'm going to give you some ideas I came up with how you can keep all the lore built up from Xenoverse without stepping on the toes of Daima. So the first idea is you could just ignore Daima's version of the demon realm, but still have it exist? Let me explain. So I think you can easily adapt the Xenoverse version of the demon realm as something I would like to call the Dark Demon Realm. Now, I got this name from Dragon Ball Heroes Dark Demon Realm saga. You can make this like a hidden force lair of the demon realm that was sealed away by Neva and the other Glins years ago. A type of seal that was far stronger than what he did to keep the original 3 demon realms separate. You can say that characters like Demigra, Toa, and Mira are some of the denizens from this part of the realm, but the big thing holding this back is that Toa is the sister of Dabura, who we now know has a father named Abara, but in the Dragon Ball Heroes continuity, their father was Mechikabura. Now, I know you can easily retcon this to be an ancestor to them if Xenoverse ever needed to adapt him, but I doubt it. But if you want to keep the lore that we have without potentially compromising Daima, I think this is one of the best courses of actions they can take. Now, another way we could write around this actually has to do with the current direction we're seeing in the future saga. So for many years at this point, the main villain of Xenoverse 2 has been Fu, who, to be honest, isn't really that much of a villain, but a curious kid whose messes we usually have to clean. However, in the future saga, they're starting to take a new direction with his character by having him work on ultra supervillain powers, as well as him being able to construct his own time ring to travel across the timeline. Now, what if instead of using his powers to try to revive or stop a potential demon realm invasion, he uses his power to save it? We could see the demon realm as it's portrayed by Xenoverse and everything we heard about this place being a realm of chaos and magic. But Fu can use his powers to make a positive change in the timeline, leading to a somewhat lesser evil version of the demon realm that's portrayed in Daima. Now, what change could that be? I'm not really sure. Maybe he'll erase Demigra or Toa or even himself. Maybe we'll see a new character introduced, or maybe it'll have something to do with Dabura. Regardless, I just don't see Fu as the kind of person who will even like what the demon realm is portrayed to be, but he keeps experimenting with the things within it anyway. So I think that would be a pretty interesting way to wrap up that part of his character. Now, the last and laziest option would just be to ignore Daima, which would be pretty lame in my opinion, since I feel like the demons have been the primary antagonistic force in the Xenoverse series. And it would be a massive waste of potential to not take advantage of the fact that we got a whole show based off their lore now. You can not only do things like what I said, but also many more to try and tie all this lore together in an interesting way. Now, I do have one last idea on how we can tie Daima into Xenoverse, and believe it or not, it's something that's actually confirmed already and may be closer than we think. Now, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot is a lot of things, but something I never see brought up is the fact that it's part of the Xenoverse series, in a narrative sense, as the post-game for Kakarot sees you fighting various superpower villains, culminating in Mira's resurrection from his defeat back in Xenoverse 1. And after Goku kicks his ass, he promptly leaves to kick off the events leading up to Xenoverse 2. And since we see this event happening in Kakarot, it's easy to say that things play out in a similar way in the Xenoverse timelines as well. So when we get Daima's DLC, wouldn't it be cool to see characters like Fu, Mira, Toe as potential background NPCs for quests that could directly tie in the future plot points of Xenoverse 2's future saga? Or maybe we could see from Supreme Kaioten's eyes that the Demon Realm isn't all that bad anymore, especially once they put my man Ku in office. But using Kakarot as a jumping off point would be really cool to tie these parts of the series together. Now, at the end of the day, would Daima and Xenoverse stories overlapping in this way really help anything? Maybe not, but I do think it would reinforce the fact that all of Dragon Ball matters, even the non-canon parts. You could have a story from elements of Z, the movie, Super, GT, Daima, and online all under one roof, and all it would do is show the fans that, yes, everything matters. But tell me, do you think Xenoverse will acknowledge the events of Daima outside of the characters? Let me know your ideas and theories in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to like and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. And for only 99 cents a month, you can become a channel member and get a shout at the end of my videos and see content early. You can also get access to my members only chats on my Discord server, which will be linked in the description. Don't forget to follow me on my other socials too, in case you just want to see more of me, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Oi mate, can I borrow your pen?